Hello. Have you found yourself looking in the mirror lately, noticing that some of the freckles or age spots on your face seem to be getting a little darker? Perhaps your overall complexion just feels a bit duller than it used to. If you've been telling yourself it's just a normal part of getting older, have you also wondered if this change is happening a little too quickly, a little too noticeably? The story I'm about to share is one that might surprise even many experienced dermatologists. It's likely not something that large hospitals or pharmaceutical companies would readily advertise, but it's a method that a highly respected dermatologist confirmed over and over with his patients throughout a 40-year career. It's a secret that is almost too simple to be spoken about in a loud voice. But now, it's time for that secret to be shared. The person at the heart of our story is Dr. Edward Langley. He has devoted 4 decades of his life to dermatology and is now 75 years old. Dr. Langley once led the dermatology department at a prominent university hospital, and he still operates his own private practice in a well-regarded neighborhood. He continues to see patients 3 days a week, having dedicated his life to understanding and treating the skin. And yet, he admits that he was slow to see the quiet suffering of the person closest to him. This story really begins with his wife, Eleanor. She had become so distressed by her deepening freckles and age spots that she would often wear a hat pulled down low to hide her face. He would sometimes find her crying softly in front of the mirror late in the evening. Dr. Langley saw his wife's face every single day, but he confesses that he simply thought of it as the natural marks of time, a normal part of the aging process. He didn't view it with the seriousness it deserved, and so the days went by. But one evening, when he heard his wife's quiet, muffled sobs as she stood before the mirror, his heart simply broke. In that moment, the pride he had built over a lifetime as a leading dermatologist completely shattered. As both a husband and a doctor, he made a promise to himself to use every bit of his knowledge to free his wife from this daily sadness. From that day forward, Dr. Langley began to look beyond the familiar world of Western medicine, turning his attention to ancient wisdom and the healing power found in nature. He dedicated countless nights to studying old texts and the very latest scientific research, exploring traditional healing practices from all corners of the world. He was desperately searching for a solution that was not only safe and effective, but one that addressed the real root of the problem. Are you also feeling disheartened by those shadows on your face that even makeup can no longer conceal, affecting your mood day after day? Dr. Langley found that expensive laser procedures and luxurious whitening creams offered only a temporary fix for his wife's deep-set spots. They simply were not a lasting solution. On top of that, these treatments often irritated her sensitive skin, leaving it red and with a stinging sensation. Then he discovered the answer, right at the point where ancient knowledge and modern medicine meet. On the surface, it appeared remarkably simple, yet it was grounded in the safest and most scientific principles. The answer was hidden in 2 very common ingredients that have always been on our kitchen tables: apple cider vinegar and tomatoes. At first, Dr. Langley's wife, Eleanor, was understandably skeptical. But with a steady belief in his research, he carefully applied this natural combination to her skin each day. And incredibly, after only 3 weeks, what felt like a miracle occurred. The deep freckles on her face had faded in a very noticeable way, and her complexion had a vibrancy and brightness he hadn't seen in years. Eleanor regained her long-lost confidence and began to smile with a genuine radiance once again. And seeing that smile brought an even greater sense of vitality back into Dr. Langley's own life. You'll want to hear this story all the way to the end to understand the complete process. This one small change has the power to bring so much happiness and confidence back into your life, and I truly hope you can experience it for yourself. If this story is helpful to you, please consider sharing it. Every small effort to pass this on can become a powerful force in bringing this valuable wisdom to more people. Are you too dismissing important signals from your skin, telling yourself it's just because you're getting older? Dr. Langley points out that to truly solve the problem from its source, you first have to understand the changes that are happening inside your body. He explains that as we grow older, the appearance and worsening of these spots are closely tied to 4 key changes within our skin. First is a weakening in the regulation of your melanin cells. These are the cells that produce the pigment in your skin, and their deep regulatory function can become less effective over time. These cells have a vital job: they defend your skin from UV damage. But as we age, their ability to self-regulate declines, and they can become overly sensitive. When they are stimulated by things like UV rays, hormonal shifts such as those around menopause, ongoing stress, or chronic skin inflammation, they start to overproduce melanin, making more than the body actually needs. Dr. Langley compares it to a factory production line that has started to malfunction, running uncontrollably and churning out products. This leads to too much pigment building up in certain areas, which is what we see on the surface of our skin as dark freckles or age spots. Second is the slowing of your skin's regeneration cycle. Healthy, youthful skin is quite active, producing new cells in a cycle that takes about 28 days. As these new cells travel upwards, the old pigmented skin cells naturally flake away. This is the skin's own process of renewal and self-evolution. But as we age, this skin renewal cycle slows down quite a bit, stretching out to 40, or even 60 days or more. Once that regeneration cycle slows, the cells that have too much melanin deposited in them can't be cleared away as quickly, and they remain on the surface of the skin for much longer. This is the real reason why freckles and age spots seem to become darker and more noticeable, much like dust that settles on an old painting that isn't being properly cared for. Third is a decrease in your skin's microcirculation. This is often overlooked, but reduced blood circulation in the skin is also an important factor in why freckles and age spots form. When the blood flow in the deeper layers of your skin becomes sluggish, the supply of nutrients and oxygen to your skin cells goes down. At the same time, the waste products that are created during metabolism can't be carried away efficiently and they begin to accumulate inside the skin. Dr. Langley describes this internal environment as being like poor, polluted soil, which in turn makes the melanin cells even more active and further slows down the skin's own ability to regenerate itself. Fourth is an imbalance in your skin's pH. Healthy skin naturally keeps itself in a slightly acidic state, at a pH of about 5.5. This natural, acidic protective barrier helps your skin shield itself from harmful external bacteria and also works to inhibit excessive melanin cell activity. But as we age, or because we might frequently use alkaline soaps or have incorrect face washing habits, this acidic balance in the skin can be thrown off. When the skin gradually becomes more alkaline, that protective barrier is damaged. This allows melanin cell activity to speed up, leading to more significant pigmentation problems. Dr. Langley stresses that it is so important to understand that these issues happen because of a combination of these internal changes in our bodies and external factors from our environment. Driven by a desire to see fast results, many people try all sorts of home remedies they see online or hear about from friends, hoping to quickly make the spots on their faces disappear. In response to this, Dr. Langley has issued a very firm warning. He cautions that these dangerous attempts not only lack any scientific foundation but could even have devastating consequences for your skin. He pointed out that the most common and hazardous practices involve carelessly putting things like lemon juice, baking soda, or even toothpaste directly on the face. Lemon juice is extremely acidic, and applying it straight to your skin is like putting a chemical on it, which can lead to chemical burns or severe contact dermatitis. Baking soda, on the other hand, is highly alkaline and will mercilessly strip away the skin's slightly acidic protective barrier. This can cause extreme dryness, stinging, and severe irritation. And it should go without saying that toothpaste contains abrasives and irritating chemicals that will only make skin inflammation worse and have absolutely no scientific basis for removing freckles. Dr. Langley explained that these so-called home remedies might temporarily make the skin peel and turn red because of the strong stimulation, which can mislead people into thinking they are getting a whitening effect. But the final result is irreparable damage to the skin's natural barrier, which creates a vicious cycle that makes the pigmentation even more severe. As for some of the more gentle options, like potato or cucumber masks, Dr. Langley believes that while they might offer a temporary soothing or moisturizing effect, they are simply not strong enough to fundamentally solve pigmentation issues like melasma and age spots that are rooted deep within the skin. He also reminded people that any sprouted or green parts of potatoes contain trace amounts of a toxic substance called solanine, which can cause allergic reactions or irritation in sensitive skin. And while cucumbers are mostly made of water and can bring a refreshing feeling, it's hard to expect the pigment-decomposing enzymes they contain to have any significant effect on melasma. These seemingly harmless masks might cause unexpected irritation or side effects for people who have sensitive skin or specific allergies, so they require special care. Dr. Langley has repeatedly emphasized his hope that everyone will stop making the mistake of relying on incorrect information and harming their precious skin. These mistaken home remedies can cause even greater harm to the elderly, whose skin is already thinner and more fragile than that of young people. Because the regenerative power of older skin has slowed, it is very difficult for it to recover once it has been damaged. He pointed out that freckles and age spots are not just a surface-level skin issue, they are a pigmentation problem that is rooted deep within the skin. Therefore, taking the correct steps in the early stages is the most important thing you can do. If you waste valuable time on the wrong methods, leading to more severe pigmentation, it may become very difficult to improve, even with professional medical treatments down the road. He hopes that everyone will avoid being misled by unproven information or products, and that the most sensible choice is to protect your precious skin health through correct and safe methods. After countless trials, Dr. Langley finally discovered that simple and natural combination from the two most common ingredients on our tables, apple cider vinegar and tomatoes, that allowed his wife to find a new life for her skin. He stressed that this seemingly simple mixture is actually supported by solid scientific principles. Here is how the apple cider vinegar works. Dr. Langley explained that the acetic acid found in abundance in apple cider vinegar is a mild, natural fruit acid. It works on two levels. First, it can act as a gentle exfoliant to help softly slew away the old skin cells that have accumulated on the skin surface and contain excess melanin. This helps to bring the skin's renewal cycle back to a more normal rhythm. Second, studies have found that acetic acid can effectively inhibit the activity of tyrosinase, which is the key enzyme in our body that produces melanin. So, it can play a dual role by also helping to prevent the overproduction of new pigment in the skin. And here is how the tomatoes work. On the other hand, tomatoes are rich in powerful antioxidant ingredients like lycopene and vitamin C, which is essential for skin whitening. Lycopene can fundamentally reduce the skin damage caused by ultraviolet rays from the sun, while vitamin C helps to promote collagen production. This helps to improve the skin's elasticity and makes the overall skin tone appear brighter and more even. Dr. Langley discovered that when you use these two ingredients together, their synergistic effect is maximized, and that is why they show such excellent results in improving melasma and age spots. Dr. Langley shared his golden ratio and the correct way to use this method. He emphasized that to get the very best results, you must follow the correct ratio and order of use. The most effective ratio he found through his research is 2 parts apple cider vinegar to 1 part tomato. For example, in a clean glass bowl, you would first put 1 tablespoon of fresh tomato puree, made from crushed fresh tomatoes. Then, very slowly and in small portions, pour in 2 tablespoons of pure apple cider vinegar and mix it all gently. He especially wanted to remind everyone that the order in which you mix the ingredients is very important. Be sure to put the tomato puree in the bowl first, and then slowly pour in the apple cider vinegar. If you do it the other way around and add the tomato to the vinegar all at once, the strong acidity can cause excessive foam to be produced. This will not only make it difficult to use, but it will also reduce its effectiveness. It's also important to use it while it's fresh. Because this is a natural combination, it can begin to oxidize after it's exposed to the air, so it's best to use it immediately after you mix it. He suggests making a new, small amount each time you use it, rather than making a large batch to store. For the correct application technique, after you've prepared the mixture, fully moisten a clean cotton pad. Then, gently press and apply it to the areas where you have melasma or age spots. At this point, Dr. Langley repeatedly instructed that you should never rub the skin or apply it harshly. Instead, you should gently pat it on, allowing the skin to absorb it. This is very important to avoid causing any unnecessary irritation. As for timing and follow-up care, after applying the mixture, leave it on for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then wash your face thoroughly with lukewarm water. Finally, be sure to apply a good moisturizer, one that is rich in moisture, to soothe and protect the skin that you've just cared for. Depending on your skin type, he suggested that you can start with a shorter time, maybe 5 minutes, just to see how your skin adapts, and then you can gradually increase the time. For frequency of use and precautions, he recommends using this treatment about 3 times a week. It is more important to give your skin plenty of time to rest and repair itself than it is to use it every single day. If your skin experiences any irritating reactions, like redness or stinging while you're using it, you must stop using it immediately and consult with a dermatologist. Dr. Langley reminded us that even though this method uses natural ingredients, everyone's skin is different, and the reaction can vary depending on your individual sensitivity. This is something you need to keep in mind at all times. This simple, natural combination didn't just help Dr. Langley's wife. He also shared many other success stories, which prove the widespread effectiveness of this method. Hearing about these real changes may also bring you a greater sense of confidence. Mrs. Clark, a 78-year-old from Arizona, had been suffering from severe melasma for 20 years. She had lived her whole life on a sunny, breezy coast. Her spots had become so deep that she was even hesitant to go out anymore. But after following Dr. Langley's instructions for the apple cider vinegar and tomato combination and using it continuously for only 2 weeks, Mrs. Clark felt that her melasma was beginning to fade from the edges. Seeing the brilliant smile that had reappeared on her face also made Dr. Langley feel very rewarded. Mr. Peterson, an 83-year-old from Montana, had spent his entire life working hard on construction sites and was troubled by deeply rooted age spots on his forehead and his cheeks. Especially in the summertime, the age spots looked even more prominent. Mr. Peterson was also skeptical at first, but after following Dr. Langley's guidance and using this combination for 3 weeks, he personally confirmed that the color of his age spots had faded and their size had also decreased. Now, Mr. Thompson says he can go outside without a hat and feel respectable. Mrs. Chun, a 74-year-old from Texas, has naturally sensitive skin and finds that she can't easily use just any whitening product. She had also tried several treatments from dermatologists, but each time she had to stop because of irritation. However, she was able to successfully try this natural combination on her sensitive skin without any irritation at all. She shared that her skin tone had become brighter and her melasma had faded significantly. Mr. Davis, an 81-year-old from New York, has diabetes, which makes his skin very fragile and sensitive. He is always extremely careful about using any products that contain chemical ingredients. After carefully listening to Dr. Langley's story about safely improving melasma with natural materials, Mr. Davis began using this combination every day. After just 1 month, not only had his melasma improved, but even the overall texture of his skin had improved amazingly. Dr. Langley said that even in these challenging situations, these 4 people were able to make changes, and you will be able to fully experience that as well. Dr. Langley also emphasized all-around life suggestions for caring for your skin from the inside out and the outside in. In addition to the external application, he repeatedly stressed that healthy skin must start with internal management, in order to control the symptoms and solidify the effects. To help with this, he summarized 5 major lifestyle recommendations. First, focus on internal nutrition and supplement the building materials for your skin. In order to maintain your skin's elasticity and its ability to regenerate, it is more fundamental and effective to eat foods that help our body directly produce collagen. Dr. Langley suggested that you should eat more fruits and vegetables that are rich in vitamin C, like kiwis and broccoli. They play an essential role in the synthesis of collagen. In addition, bone broth is rich in the amino acids that make up collagen. He shared a little secret: add 1 or 2 drops of vinegar when you are boiling bone broth. This helps the calcium and collagen in the bones to dissolve more effectively, which increases the absorption rate in your body and promotes skin regeneration. Second, increase vitality for your skin. Regular lifestyle habits are also very important for maintaining a healthy skin regeneration cycle. Dr. Langley suggested that you can often take a half bath with warm water, which can promote blood circulation throughout your entire body and activate your metabolism. This allows the nutrition and oxygen that your skin cells need to be supplied more smoothly and also helps to remove waste. After the half bath, he suggested that you can gently massage your body with fine, natural salt, which can not only remove old skin cells but also further activate blood circulation. Third, strengthen your dietary sunscreen. Think of this as providing your skin with an invisible protective layer of clothing. UV rays from the sun are the strongest culprit for making melasma and age spots worse. Dr. Langley reminded us that sun protection is not just about applying sunscreen when you go out. It's also about using what he calls edible sunscreen to make our skin more resistant to ultraviolet rays from within.